Have you ever felt unlucky? Like when everything goes against you? Say you're a student and you must finish the assignment you procrastinated over all this while. You have an hour left to pull something off, but your girlfriend just dropped you a text saying it's over after she found out about that girl. Your dog vomited on the carpet. Your lights went out. And then your candle set your notes on fire. How would you feel? Well, that is the kind of thing that Jinping is going through. Problem is, the dictator's bad luck affects over 1 billion people and more. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Shubhangi. And in this video, I will tell you about Jinping facing a terrible mix of problems, the seeds of which were all planted by he himself. The heavens fall when a country is led by an egoistic and incompetent dictator. Nothing illustrates this better than China. The communist country led by its President Xi Jinping has been facing a severe power crisis. Chinese households are facing blackouts while Chinese factories are shutting down due to a lack of electricity supply. As per leaked internal documents accessed by the Chinese Epoch Times, the communist country has asked local authorities to prepare for a large-scale COVID-19 outbreak. A document titled Notice of Further Strengthening of Epidemic Prevention was reportedly issued by China's State Council and forwarded by the Fujian provincial government to local authorities on September 30th. Another document described as National Day Epidemic Prevention Notice was issued by the State Council on October 1st, and it too was distributed by the Fujian provincial officials to local authorities. Both the leaked documents were marked extra urgent. The two notices reportedly advised enhanced preparations for an emergency response to a fresh COVID-19 outbreak. The Chinese Communist Party has ordered the construction of central isolation sites. The local authorities are repeatedly required to establish isolation centers and rooms of not less than 20 rooms per 10,000 people by the end of this month. Each isolation center is required to consist of at least 100 rooms. According to available data, the population of Fujian province in 2020 was 41.54 million. As of September 19, the Chinese province had set up a total of 35,691 quarantine rooms in 296 central sites. However, given the standards prescribed by the CCP, the Fujian province needs to build a maximum of 83,000 quarantine rooms by the end of this month, which translates into around 47,000 more rooms. This reflects how bad the situation in China can be. Dr. Sean Lin, a former virology researcher at the US Army Research Institute, has been quoted by the Epoch Times as saying, "This reflects the CCP's concern about the rise of the epidemic. It must have been concealing the true epidemic in mainland China, otherwise it would not suddenly issue a national notice of emergency preparedness." The Chinese economy is in tatters, and the communist country is staring right into a fresh health emergency. Yet Xi Jinping is prioritizing his political crackdowns. The Notice of Further Strengthening of Epidemic Prevention reportedly mandates setting up a layer of 5 control systems. The notice states, township and street CCP cadres, community grid staff, grassroots medical workers, police and volunteers shall jointly implement community epidemic prevention. The notice also provides mechanism of tightening epidemic prevention, including strict implementation of community prevention and control or locking down residential communities. Lin believes that the 5-layered control system is meant to tighten social management in local areas, and the CCP's purpose is to tighten control. The former virology researcher said, if there is no nucleic acid test, all the CCP's epidemic prevention measures are the same as political campaigns. For example, you can be quarantined at any time and put in a quarantine site. And the quarantine sites can also be a place of political persecution. Dr. Lin added, no matter who you are, as long as the CCP says that you tested positive in a nucleic acid test, it will deprive you of all your rights. The CCP's quarantine sites are actually an alternative form of concentration camps. Over the past 2 months or so, the Chinese economy has faced some unprecedented setbacks. First, the Evergrande crisis and the bursting Chinese real estate bubble crashed the communist nation's markets and economy. Then, the Chinese coal and power crisis led to blackouts and a downturn in manufacturing activity all across China. The last thing that China would have wanted now is a health emergency. In all likelihood, China will hide any new COVID-19 outbreaks, just like it had hidden the one that broke out in Wuhan almost 2 years ago. If China creates another health crisis for the world, then it will face a severe backlash and would almost certainly get cut off the world economy. Also, wide containment measures in China are likely to pressurize its bleeding domestic market even further and cause further damage to its bruised economy. Amidst power outages and factory shutdowns, China is therefore bracing for another disaster, a massive coronavirus wave.